Namaskar. Today I want to address a very pertinent topic, the Veda and the Hindu. We normally confuse them, we equate them, but in truth, they are not the same. This confusion has led us to stereotypes and distortions about our spiritual growth and culture too. Rigveda says it beautifully. Ekam sada vipra bahuta varanti. That means there is one divinity and intelligent and knowable people, they call it by different names. This is something what was the crux for Indian association with the spirituality, which was known as Bharata at that moment of time. Even a few centuries back, India was a very vast, flowering country with many spiritual paths. Different schools existed, some were rooted in Vedas, some were not. Some relied on scriptures, others directly worked on the Guru Sishya Parampara. Some paths were devotional, some were meditative, some were tantric. They were because the real teachers were in existence. But when the real teachers disappear, books become the idols and the words become the prison for them. The beauty was this, you need to realize all these diverse approaches produce the realized beings, which is not happening now. Each one who appeared, realized, was in their own way. When such realized people were abandoned, the society as a whole developed a living awareness of what is essential and to know what is non-essential in spiritual life. Everyone knew that the realization was the core, but there was no rigid forms. But when the living ambience and the living entity diminishes, the energy is diminishing, you find that very few living realized souls are in existence. You'll find the society falling, paddling into the concept of stereotypes. People will start saying that only if you read a scripture, only if you follow a certain path, then only you can be called a spiritual person. But if you find a connection to the spiritual book or a spiritual path, are you going to evolve or are you going to be held back? It's a big question. If you're going to be held back, this is not a sign of cultural expansion or a growth, but of a decline only. This definitely has happened to us because of many things. One of the prominent was the invasion and the colonial roots. Indian unknowingly followed or adapted the Abrahamic concepts. The Abrahamic concepts was talking about what? One God, one book, one path. Now, when this was coming in, without realizing it, we began imitating that. The clearest symptom what we find in the recent times is some people raise the Bhagavad Gita as if it was the only one authority, our own Bible. But this is not the Indian spirit. And definitely, Swami Vivekananda himself was against the whole concept. Our tradition, our culture was never part of one book. We have countless Upanishads, Purans, Tantric books, and the lineages, each are contributing in something unique. There is no single text that contains the vastness of the Sanatana Dharma. Though the terms have been coming out recently, you still find that there is a lot of confusion with a lot of people. You need to understand that you need to go back to the original root. Hindu and Vedic are not identical. Hindu is a broader term. It's about culture. It's about civilization. It embraces many streams. It includes the devotional, tantric, yogic, Vedantic, and many other things. The Vedantic tradition is one of the prominent or important streams, but it is not the whole ocean. There are schools who never even referenced or talked about Vedanta directly, or Vedas also. Here they were profoundly transformative. For example, many of the Tantric schools were quite different. They were unique, they were quite deep. Whenever we equate Hindu with the Vedic, we are immediately erasing the diversity what we had. And what happens is, today because of the external forces, many are trying to revive the Sanatana Dharma, but what happens is the imitation part. Of every structure we should be transcending. But we intern the Dharma into another religion centered on one book or one dogma. This is not Sanatana Dharma, this is not reaction, this is not a revival too. In India, the truth was always that people came first, realized beings, lived, practiced and taught. Only later, as the time went by, their insights were documented as scriptures. It was never the other way around. Scriptures are the footprints of realized being, not their source. They are the notes of all the people who followed the path to understand. Sanatan Dharma shrinks only when we shrink it. We should be very clear about that. The moment we take one book, we have already lost the plot, the condition, and the expanse, what we can take. That condition is unconditional expansion, which is to be known. So we should be knowing that we should be honoring Gita, we should be honoring the Vedas, we should be honoring the Vedantas, but to reduce the entire genius of India to one book, one word, or one template, it is to betray the every soul of our culture. Sanatan Dharma is not a case, it's an open sky. Its strength lies in its plurality, its living teachers, and many streams of wisdom. To keep India alive, we must preserve the organic richness. And one should be remembering throughout his life that Hindu is not Vedic books. People were not coming from books. Books came from the people. We hold this truth, the Dharma will reside, and be there for a view. So you should be not trading the open sky for somebody else's cage. Hindu is not Vedic, Hindu is vast and flowing alive. Namaskar.